This is Observer Radio. Your voice counts. Your questions are answered. This is Observer AM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Observer AM. The time in Antigua and Barbuda, it's 7:18 a.m. If you're not on Facebook with us right now, you need to log on to Facebook, because live in the studio is Miss Joshua Francis, an Antiguan educator and founder of Good Humans 268. After her 2018 diagnosis of osteoarthritis, she dedicated her life to disability awareness and climate action, from walking the perimeter of Antigua to securing over US $130,000 for local recycling and school accessibility. Her impact is massive. She is a 2025 CIBC Regional Unsung Hero, and she is a regional hero. She's here today, and she's pedaling the bike to get us to pay attention for the Ride for a Cause campaign. Welcome, Joshua. Good morning, and welcome again, this time in studio, to Observer AM. How are you doing?
Good morning. Today is amazing. Thank you for being the first company to reach out to us.
All right, that's what we do around here, the Observer. We lead the way.
Yes.
All right, I saw you on, I don't remember which social media page, but it was with Ibis, I think, on the national station.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a minute, I don't know about this. I saw, I messaged you and I was like, hey, how can I be a part of this? And you said this is the type of vibe you need. So welcome again. Tell us what are you writing for? What cause are you writing for?
So the objective for Ride for a Cause is to get individuals with disabilities more awareness. It is not a fundraising campaign, it's an awareness campaign, and the idea is to do exactly what I'm doing this morning. We're going to take this stationary bike to 300 locations, and we want to ride for 30 minutes. The idea is to get thousands of people on the bike riding. The bike itself represents how you can see disability. You're moving your foot, but you're not actually moving. There are lots of organizations, I know of 12 on island, that deal with some form of a disability. So if we're to go School for the Deaf, School for the Blind, Adele, Victory Center, CHATS, Blue Dragonfly, Antigua and Barbuda Association for Persons with Disabilities, Heart and Stroke, Diabetes, all of us, we are moving our feet. Mm-hmm. However, sometimes it feels as though we're not actually going anywhere. So what we can do is pick up the bike, or pick up ourselves, and we can go to a different location. While it might look like we're not doing anything, the movement in our feet represents us strengthening our leg muscles, getting better with regards to health. And that is what disability is. So sometimes it feels and looks like we're not going anywhere, but we're actually going far.
Wow. So why 30 minutes and why 300 locations? And we're number one in terms of business. Shout out to my company.
Yes. So what is happening is Good Humans 268 is celebrating 3 this year.
3 years?
Yes.
Congratulations.
So everything was just surrounding 3. 13 is too small of a number, and 30 is too small of a number, because we have 80 schools, and the idea is to ride at all 80 schools.
You're always going big anyway.
Added to all 80 schools, we want to do beaches, forts, we want to do hiking trail. Shout out to what Dudley Trailblazers. I was giving Jason the idea yesterday.
Mr. Joseph?
I don't know his he
muscly.
Yes,
hard, rough trainer.
He does pageantry also.
Yes.
So I was giving Jason the idea, and he says, "You do Macnish yet?" I'm like, "No, we can do Macnish." And then he said, "We could do Monks Hill, and we can do Buggy Peak." And he was just like, he got so excited. I'm just like, there's so many places that they're gonna give us that assistance for the year to get done. And I will say to anybody, the objective is to get thousands of people talking about disability.
Well, hopefully today, thousands of persons that are tuned in, listening, watching on Facebook, or listening to us in their cars, listening to us online, are going to get involved. You say everyone can participate, but what about a person that's not able to physically ride a bike? How can they be a part of this?
The idea is they should become a part of the reason we're riding. So instead of them getting on the physical bike, we can come to them, or they can encourage friends and family to ride. So just like Observer, and I'm going to challenge Observer to also give us, we don't need to be in studio, but multiple times throughout the year when we're on the road, where you can just call us and let us know we're here right now and really get us some publicity. And it's the same with any other media outlet. The idea is to get thousands of people talking about disability. I have been talking about Diana. She's a child. She goes to Potters Primary. And for the first 5 years of her life, every time she needed to pee or poo, she had to ask somebody for help. We are not at the place where she can just go to another secondary school, because there is no completely accessible secondary school on Island.
Up to now.
So we have access. So we have schools with bathrooms. We have schools that there are some ramps, but is it completely accessible? No. She said to us that she wants to go to the Antigua Girls High School. And we went. The videos are now on our YouTube. They're not on our Facebook because they were in our newsletter. She can't go Antigua Girls High School.
There's a lot of steps.
There's a lot of steps.
So
even before we get to anything else, she can't get to First Farm. First Farm is upstairs.
Yes, it is in the new building.
And there are at least 4 other buildings that she can't go up. And I said too, even when I was speaking to the principal, accessibility isn't just the bathroom. Accessibility is, how does she get to First Farm? Is it going to be a situation that every single time there's a class upstairs, they're going to have to take her out of her wheelchair, take her up the stairs, and she's going to always be dependent on people? And this is the reality that we face in Antigua and Barbuda. However, good news. St. Mary's Secondary has the potential to be the best accessible school on Island.
We should make this a competition then. Which school can become more accessible first?
So I know for sure St. Mary's is the most accessible because I was there last week, Tuesday, and it's about just purchasing. So for St. Mary's, we need to purchase 1 lift. For Antigua Girls, we would need to purchase 5. And for Sir Novel, we would need to purchase 4. If we're able to raise funds, Sir Novel is in Potters.
No, I'm counting the buildings in Antigua Girls High School schoolyard.
That's what I could tell you. I was there. We actually have a video on our YouTube where we're doing assessing accessibility. And the idea is St. Mary's is going to be the best option. The issue with St. Mary's is she lives in Potters. So we need to transport her from Potters to St. Mary's. So yesterday I went to a particular manager of a business. I'm saying I'm gonna beg some money for 5 years. I'm not beg for 1, we beg for 5. So that once we have a commitment that we can pay to get her to St. Mary's every day, that means that hurdle has been passed. I'm pretty sure between Luxury Locations, Elmsbridge, and the other companies that pledged to Project Red in year 1, they'll be able to pledge to us getting the lift in. So we're looking good for September. And the reason that I'm riding is because beyond the September, what happens when she goes to university? What happens when she becomes an adult? And there's so many different individuals with disabilities that we need to ride for.
Joshua, how does riding a bike help people understand the link between disability inclusion and climate action?
So the idea is, just like we're having this conversation, Sharon, is to have more and more conversations about Ride for a Cause. Like for you, it wasn't, Joshua, you're going to be on the road. We came with the bike. So anybody on Facebook, I hope that our live is going too. So people will be able to hear the conversation. Individuals with disabilities are the most affected part of any tropical storm, any hurricane, any earthquake. And the work that we do for Good Humans 268 is to give individuals with disabilities jobs, hope, and definitely what we call at Good Humans 268 golden opportunities.
Joshua, on my board, somebody saying good morning. Please encourage her to come to UE Five Islands campus, Five Islands Primary, and St. John City. We look forward to riding with you guys.
And
so we're reaching people.
Yeah, and that is what we need. We need people to call us and be like, when can you come? And the idea is, if a business has 60 employees, everybody can ride for 30 seconds. If you have 30 employees, then ride for 1 minute. And that means we have now lots of people talking about disability, climate action, and how we're all moving towards positive change in Antigua and Barbuda.
Why did you choose to focus this campaign on awareness rather than on funding?
because we don't talk about disability enough, and it is not the quote unquote sexy topic. So what we must do is ensure that it becomes the normal part of conversation. And I will say to anybody, for Good Humans 268 is very personal. So anybody who doesn't know, Good Humans didn't start on a happy story. It started because I was terminated, and 5 years later, we're still seeking justice. On Sunday, my dad, who's 71, if you're on my WhatsApp status, you'll probably get some jokes when I go to bush with him. We reloaded the donkey 6 times, and I was exhausted. However, when I got home, this has been like the first or maybe 5 times we're at this place where no matter how tired I am, my brain just doesn't shut down and allow me to sleep. Monday morning, I get up and I sit at the edge of the bed and I'm exhausted, but I got to get to court for 9 o'clock. I'm there crying and I'm tired. One point during court on Monday, I literally said to the president, I do not want to fight anymore. I am tired, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm done. And Mr. James, I said, Joshua, you can't give up now. We've been doing this for 5 years. I really appreciate Mr. James. The Antigua and Barbuda Free Trade Union, they went above and beyond. And 5 years later, we go to court on Monday, and we still didn't settle. And people see me here today, but they don't know that 2 o'clock this morning, I could not sleep. I am the example of someone living with a disability who has to fight a system that wasn't designed for me. And the police officer who was at court on Monday, again, I don't know her name, but she was just so grateful. I picked up my bag, Sharon. I'm like, I'm not fighting no more. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I am not doing this anymore. I am done. I don't want no money. I don't care. And she's like, you can't do that. You're going to have to calm down. You're overwhelmed now. You're going to have to calm down. And she's like, if you leave, you're still on the oath. You can be held in contempt. I'm like, the court system not even designed for me, because they're able to come here and do foolishness. At the end of court, the president literally said we wasted 6 hours because you already conceded that you did her wrong. You already conceded that, you're going to pay her. We should have just came to court this morning and calculated, what the payment would be. But it could not be that. And my story, I'm one of thousands of individuals in Antigua and Barbuda who has some form of a disability that you cannot see, that you do not hear about enough, and we have to ensure. I want the world to know about my story and the other stories I've been able to come across.
Joshua, we have to take a break for the Rovia Minute. So let's take that break for the Rovia Minute, brought to you by Rovia Medical and Surgical Suites. Our presenter this week is Dr. Gwendolyn Ferrier-Roberts, and our broad theme this week, difficult discussions. Today, we're talking about incontinence.
Hello, this is Dr. Gwendolyn Ferrier-Roberts from Rovia Medical and Rovia Surgical Suites. Incontinence is the inability to control the passage of urine or stool. Urinary incontinence affects up to 60% of women at some time during their reproductive years. It may occur during coughing, sneezing, or laughing, may occur suddenly and with intense urgency, or when the bladder is overfilled. Risk factors for female urinary incontinence include increasing age, obesity, and multiple vaginal deliveries. Common causes are urinary infections and pelvic organ prolapse. Incontinence of stool is less common. Risk factors include increasing age, chronic diarrhea, and diabetes. It may be due to weak muscle control or decreased sensation in the anus. Treatment depends on the cause and may involve lifestyle and dietary changes, medications, and surgery. Incontinence, if not treated, can be socially isolating. Don't be embarrassed to discuss this symptom with your doctor.
Get fresh looks for the new year at Quartz Optical and save more with Quartz Ready Finance. Get 30% off credit or 15% off cash purchases. Wear it now and get more with Quartz Ready Finance. Book your free eye examination appointment online at quartzoptical.com. Walk-ins also welcomed at any of our 15 convenient locations. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Promotion runs from January 1st to February 28, 2026. Terms and conditions apply.
For tips on eating healthy and making better life choices, keep it locked every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on Observer Radio, 91.1 FM.
This is Observer Radio.
Your voice counts. Your questions are answered. This is Observer AM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Observer AM. The time in our studios is 7:32 a.m. on the dial. And if you're tuned in on Facebook, we switch places. She's in my chair, and I'm pedaling the stationary bike. And we're riding for a cause. With me in studio is Miss Joshuanette Francis of Good Humans 268. Let's just repeat this again, just in case those of that just tuning in missed it. Who can ride, and how can they get to you? Or how can you get to them?
So the idea is that any business, any hiking group, any community group, any event, we want to be riding at these fets. We want to ride at Frofest. We want to ride at anything that's happening. Carnival, I want to be on the top of one of the trucks. I would like the bike strapped down, and we're going to be going to St. John's, and at some point we're going to ride on the road. I hope that I can get CIBC to agree with this, so we're doing Jam for a Cure with them, because they're actually a part of the mission. And the idea is to pack up the stationary bike and just move about the city. Even on the different streets, the idea is to ride at least 3 locations. So for instance, Fries Hill Road, we would want to ride, right by the intersection there by ACB.
Yes.
You want to ride there, and then you'd want to ride a bit up where probably in the roundabout where you turn off to go by Narcos. And then you'd probably want to ride at the beginning of Fries Hill Road. So on Fries Hill Road, we'd ride at 3 places. The same thing with All Saints Road, the same thing with American Road, the same thing with Airport. And the idea is awareness. The reality is, the more places we ride, individuals are literally going to be like, who are these crazy persons? Because your initial reaction is, first thing first, they're not going anywhere. There's a green, very bright green. Like, who, like, that is going to be anybody's.
That girl Joshua right now.
Whatever do again? And then what happens is, we're going to have thousands of people reaching out to us, and then we can have the conversation saying, we are riding for accessibility. We're riding to bring awareness about individuals with disabilities. So lots of the conversations will happen at location, and then several conversations will happen online, and it stirs up several conversations on the different school compounds, because the idea is to go to all 80 schools and ride.
So this is going to be for a full year. How long is this going to be going on?
For the full year. So the idea is to take the entire activity for the entire year, and if we need to expand across December 31st, 2026, we're actually going to do that, because the objective of Ride for a Cause is not money. The objective of Ride for the Cause is awareness. Based on the census in 2011, there's 16,000 individuals in Antigua and Barbuda who have some form of a disability. 16,000. And what we need to do is to ensure that all of those individuals are captured. We actually reached out to the census department, because we're doing the census this year, that after the initial census is done, we're going to do a disability study. So we would go back to all of those homes of those individuals, and we want to capture more information, because when the census data is produced, it is going to be very broad. What we need is specific information, so that when we're planning for individuals with disabilities, it's not no hoorah shushe. It is actually very accurate information, age, gender, and these things.
Why is this Ride for a Cause good for Good Humans 268?
It's
other than giving you a good workout.
So I will say to anybody, Good Humans 268 is for the people of Antigua and Barbuda, and for all 16,000 individuals back in 2011 who had some form of a disability. And I've shared Diana's story, I've shared my story, and I'm pretty sure sometime last year, you guys would have remembered there was a story of a caregiver. She stole a check for one of the persons with disability she was working on. And I've had the pleasure of talking about this with the person, No Justice. And when I said to him, like, do you just want back the money? He said, no, I don't want back the money. It's more about the principle. You cannot steal from somebody with a disability. The check is not yours, and you go and cash it, and now it's Instead of the justice system helping me, I am now running down the justice system to change the name, to change the date. When they filed the charge said that she took cash, but it wasn't cash, it was check. And we were having the conversation just last night. Are we talking about fraud or are we talking about larceny? I was on Dave's show earlier this week, and one parent reached out to me and she said, my son was supposed to be getting medication from medical benefits and he never received any of the medication and he died on the 4th of January 2026. If you were on Antigua News, you saw the story of Danny and how he needs help because his body is deteriorating, and we have stories of thousands of people suffering in this country. And the idea is to get enough people talking about disability so that we can change the status quo surrounding what is happening.
Well, you have to read them, Joshua, because I'm all the way over here.
Okay, so the authorities need to prioritize a program to update a few schools for accessibility, and that is the truth. So the idea for what we call Project RED within the Disability Pride flag stands for physical disabilities, and we want to upgrade 10 schools. So we want to do Potter's Primary completely, SNRA, St. Mary's Secondary, Sir McChesney George, Antigua Girls High School, Antigua Grammar School. Over the next 10 years, we want to raise thousands of dollars to upgrade those schools. But I'm a very realistic advocate. We might not get to 10 schools, but if we can get to one completely accessible primary school and one secondary school, I would sleep well at night.
Yeah, and if they see that one complete, that might initiate the other ones to get sorted out as well and come on board with having that done, yeah?
Correct. And I will say to anybody, I'm a very realistic advocate. The government has 43 schools. I will not be asking the government of Antigua and Barbuda to upgrade 40.
Government can't do everything.
No, but it's an unrealistic and unnecessary ask. And then when I say that, people look at me funny. I'm like, you really think we need to spend money to upgrade 43 schools? No, we need to spend money to upgrade at least 5. Mm-hmm. And then the money that we are now using or would have used for the others, individuals with disabilities need a therapy center. We need a gym. We need to have a place that we can study. We need so many other things. So what we need to do is to prioritize our limited resources.
And I think the ones that the schools you called out are in different areas of the country, so at least you're spreading it out.
Sharon, you're a smart lady.
I try.
So the idea is to retrofit 4 primary schools. Antigua has 4 primary school zones, so it would be 1 primary school per zone, and then the primary school in Barbuda. So
don't leave out Barbuda, please.
So we have 5 primary schools, and then we want to do Antigua Girls High School and Antigua Grammar School, because those are the top schools. Mm-hmm. SNRA, SMSS, which is St. Mary's Secondary, and then the secondary school in Barbuda. So in total, we would have 10 schools across the island, which is accessible. So the conversation we're now having in 2026 about Diana and accessibility is not going to be the conversation we're having in 10 years, because guess what? We now have multiple schools that are accessible, that not just her, but any parent, any teacher, any ministry official, if there is a situation of disability, they would have a space.
Here's another question.
Yes, transport board. So I will say to anybody to reach out to us just like Sharon did. So our contact number is 789-GOOD. That number is 789-4663. Or you can reach out to us at 268-727-2120. Send us an email at info@goodhumans268. And once you let us know, we're going to pencil you in and we will ride at any location for the 30 minutes, because the mission is impact. I'll send a message to Gaspar and Elijah down there at the cruise port. We should ride on a very busy cruise ship day. Yes. That is a very good day.
Yes, Observer started a trend.
Yes, you did. And if somebody's going, go Sharon, you should definitely be riding. And then you have a next guest here saying, Joshua, yes, we will be going to Barbuda. So the idea is we're going to be spending at least 3 days in Barbuda. So we need to ride at the two schools. We are going to put the bike on a boat and we're going over on the pink sand to ride. We will not be able to ride at the Frigid Bird Sanctuary just because it's not feasible. But we're going to be riding. We'll sink. We're going to be riding at the cave. We're going to be riding at multiple locations in Barbuda, because Barbuda is also special because there are individuals over there with disabilities. And if you think the Antiguans have it hard, it is even worse over there. No, I do not have sickle cell. I have osteoarthritis. The cartilage in my knees are failing me, but the idea is to ride for sickle cell. And you know that they have a new complex now for sickle cell. The idea is to ride with all 12 of the organizations on island who have some that deals with disability, because it is beyond the Good Humans 268. We're just the champions to get thousands of people.
I can actually see this on the Pink Sun in Barbuda and be a real nice commercial ad.
Hello,
I can see it.
Can you imagine Fort Berkeley, Fort James, all of the different top beaches? So we're talking about Dickinson Bay, we're talking about Fry's Beach, we're talking about any hotel. Can you imagine what your guest is going to say to you?
They'll get extra stars.
We're going to be changing Antigua and Barbuda. I will say to anybody, and it's not limited to just 300. I remember even doing the rough calculation, we might get to 300 faster than anybody else, and we will not stop there, because the idea is not to put a limit on the amount of awareness we can bring to the issue.
Okay, let's wrap up for now. I was wondering, do you have plans to go outside of Antigua? This seems like it's something that should be regionally worldwide. Can we get other humanitarian organizations to join with Good Humans 268 to maybe do a worldwide ride for disabilities?
Sharon, I feel like you know who I am. So
I've been listening to you and watching you.
Every place. So the 268 for Good Humans stands for Antigua and Barbuda, and we're hoping that the impact spreads across the Caribbean, and we want to go international. I want to run all of the world's major marathons. I want to do the toughest row. I want to hike on to Mount Everest. I want to go to China and walk the full wall of China. And it's not for Joshua Net. It's to ensure that people around the globe who have the possibility of helping us, help us build that state-of-the-art compound. I want to be on 50 acres of land, 5 acres for a nursery, 10 acres for a state-of-the-art compound, and 35 acres for a farm. And that's not going to be cheap. We need millions of dollars, so we need millions of people.
All right, we have to end it there, Joshua Net. Thank you so much for bringing the stable bike, the still stationary bike, into the Observer studio today, and we wish you best of luck, and we're gonna keep track of you to see how much you get done. We're gonna take a break now for the news desk with the second morning edition with Miss Tana Weston.